And today we celebrate the fact that 2,000 years ago, 2019 years ago, a gentleman came along who said, wait, we're being barbaric here. There is love. We were meant to bring forth that original light. We were meant to bring forth the love. And today we gather to remind ourselves of that, to light that light, not just up here, not just the one in your hands, but the ones in our hearts.
Yes, today we are celebrating the birth of the Christ consciousness. And of course, we know that from this person, we are supposed to have received the 2 commandments that are so important, which is love. I really truly believe that love is the answer to all of our issues. First commandment is to love God with all our hearts. And of course, this used to be the God out there, right? But today we know that that God is represented and individualized, and He is us. So it means to love ourselves with all our heart and to love our neighbors as ourselves. And that includes kindness and compassion and love. And we could solve the problems of the world. I'd like to get a little personal. Most of you know that I'm going through a procedure with my voice. But what touches me is the love and the support that I've received from this community. You know, we can count the number of peoples on Sunday. We can count the money we receive. But let's not forget the most important part of this community. And that's the love and the support that we give each other. And so it is.
Peace. Paraphrasing our founder, Ernest Holmes, he says, peace be unto thee, stranger. The door is open. All are welcome here. Come. Come sit by the hearth. The fire is lit. Be comfortable. Feel the warmth. The wine sparkles in the glass. Just envisioning that scene can give us and bring us to a deep sense of peace within ourselves. We feel the quietness, we feel the love, we feel the welcome spirit that this community offers. And so that message also that Gandhi gave us when he said, be the peace that you want to see in the world. So how do we do that? How do I do that? I have to be able to see through the mist of all the chaos that seems to be going on and the discord in the world. And to be able to see through that and know that God is in all of it and God does have a reason. And so it is that peace beyond all understanding that the great master teacher told us. So how that has worked in my time here at Spiritworks of finding that place of peace is in the most important place is in meditation. And so what that did for me was to bring out that there was something I could do to bring that peace to our community. And so I started doing a sound bath mindfulness meditation on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at noon. That has brought me to that place where in the morning when I make my affirmation that I am a center of peace, that just reaffirms it for me. And so how that has expanded out from Spiritworks is that through this mindfulness meditation that I decided that what was for me to do to be more peaceful and to share that was to found a center of peace in Costa Rica, a place where I could provide that same type of vision, because where my property is high up, it overlooks the jungle, and you can see the ocean. And as I look out there in this peaceful, quiet place, I can see the beauty. I don't have to envision all of the scary things that might be out there in the jungle, because I can see through. I can see beyond it, and I can see the beautiful ships coming in, and I can see the ocean. So just having an affirmation of being a center of peace is beyond my wildest imagination. As I aligned myself with that, what was mine to do, that has brought me to that deep feeling and center of peace. So I wish you peace through this Christ consciousness that the Grace Master Teacher told us, that all of it is available. It is just for us to align ourselves with it and to embody it. Peace be with you.
This morning I bring you joy. Ernest Holmes says that joy is the emotion excited by the expectancy of good, delight, gladness, bliss, exultation. We see joy in the faces of couples in love. We see joy in the face of a mother holding her new baby. We see joy in the face of a child playing with a puppy. And we can truly feel joy in all these things. Feeling joy is all-encompassing. Sharing this joy is a great gift. So in this holiday season, share your gift of joy with those around you and all you meet. Make the day of someone else more joyful with a smile and a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. Feel the joy you are by sharing it every day.
Truth. As you enter our foyer, there's a passage from Ernest Holmes that says, "Abandon truth in your hour of need is not to know truth." And in our teaching from Ernest Holmes, we learn the truth is that we are all one, and there is a power for good in the universe available to us. The truth is that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. The truth is that we are all one no matter where we go, but there's not a spot where God is not. And to know this, that love, that power of the universe is available at any moment that we decide to honor the truth of who and what we are. And I give you truth.
And I'm bringing to you today compassion. And the root of the word compassion, passion, comes from the Latin word pati. And com is, of course, with. Pati is suffering. So with suffering. I always kind of prided myself as being a kid who, whenever I would see another kid crying, I would go over to that child and want to help them. I always prided myself in that. I thought, I'm a very compassionate person. And then I was faced with, as I got older, realizing that I wasn't necessarily feeling that compassion with others who had, the perception was, hurt someone I loved or had hurt me. And I noticed that. And so I invited the openness of my heart to open wider, because I knew that wasn't the way. I know that we are all one, and that when someone suffers, I suffer. When someone suffers, we all suffer. And inviting my heart to open more, I began to feel that compassion, for people that it was harder to feel compassion for. And when I let that in, and when I let my heart open to that, it shifted my whole life experience of love. Our hearts are so vast, and the depth of our hearts knows no bounds. So may we all, in this holiday season, this season of change, invite that depth and vastness to be our hearts even more than they are now, filled with compassion for all beings.
Gratitude. It is not something we often think of, perhaps, but gratitude should be very much a part of our lives. Gratitude, we have many things to be grateful for, especially on Christmas. Christmas should be a time of gratitude, joy, peace, love, harmony. Christmas is a time for us to be grateful for all the things we have, for all the good things we have, the love, the peace we have, the community here, for everything that is good in our lives. We should be grateful. And that is what Christmas is about. It is not about commercialism. It is not about presents or material things. Christmas is about love and joy and gratitude and helping people. And I had special reason to be thankful and grateful this Christmas because I had my self-determination budget approved, and at the beginning of the new year, I will be able to implement that, put it into effect, and begin helping people. But that is what it is all about: self-determination, Christmas, not about material things, not about how much money you get. It's about helping people, loving people, helping them, being grateful for it. And that is what gratitude is. And that is the spirit in which we should celebrate Christmas. Thank you.
Oneness. The one that brings all the other qualities together. We do this way because this is our representation of the original light. It then breaks out into the different qualities, which then breaks out into the different ways in which we are in the world, which then breaks out into the unique manifestation of each and every one of us. We all started from this one light. We all come from the same beingness, the same essence, the same God stuff. And so we celebrate this time of year when most historians will tell you that actually Jesus was born in the spring. But we celebrate now because of the returning light. We celebrate now because it's in our bones. It's in our essence, our ancestral feelings and way we draw back to our attachment and our flow back to that original river, that original birth, that original oneness, far before the Christ Jesus came along. Far before. There was a light and an essence of people knowing there was something going on here. There was something between us all that brought us together and made us feel like one. Brought us all together. And through all the battles that went on throughout history for power, for who's in charge of what, for who's got this much and that much. This man came along and said, wait, this is craziness. There's only one thing going on here. And so he came forth to bring that message, of love and light. There is nothing in the New Testament around hating somebody. There is nothing in the New Testament around some people being better than other people. One of my favorite stories is the Good Samaritan, which Jesus brought forth as a parable when he was asked, what makes a good neighbor? And at the time, the Samaritans were the most hated people by the Jews. They were Jewish people who decided to marry outside the faith. And for a Jew back then, there was nothing worse than that. And so Jesus told this story about a man who's walking down the street who gets mugged, beaten and mugged and thrown into a ditch. And how a Levite, which was considered one of the high priests of the Jewish faith, when saw this man, crossed over to the other side to avoid him. When an actual priest came by and saw this man, quickly passed. But it was a Samaritan who stopped and went down to this man and brought him out and brought him home and healed him. Jesus said, what makes a good neighbor? Somebody with an open heart, somebody who loves. It doesn't matter whether they're gay, straight, what their gender is, what clothes they wear. It doesn't matter what politics they believe in. The only thing that matters is, does that person have an open heart and an open mind and care about others? That was the message of Jesus. That was the Christ consciousness brought forth. We in this world, we in this movement in particular, we talk a lot about Christ consciousness as if it's something that we all just have. But I don't actually think that's true. I think we have what I call a God consciousness. We're all born with the same essence, with the same sense of being a powerful, creative, spiritual being, having a human experience. That we all get. But a Christ consciousness is something different. A Christ consciousness means that you actually care more about others, or at least as much about others as you do yourself. A Christ consciousness means we are here to commit to the healing of each other and the planet, of all beings. A Christ consciousness is when we are willing to dig within ourselves and bring up and bring forth that which is in the essence of oneness: love, joy, compassion, truth, gratitude. These qualities are all of the same one. We bring this forth so that we can feel within ourselves the sense of beauty of being a human being on earth at this time. We have within ourselves such capacity to love. I encourage you this season to dig deeper, to bring forth that which is true in you, to bring forth beyond any resentments, any upsets, any disagreements, any looking out into the world and going, that's horrible, I hate that, and saying, hold on. Within you is a Christ consciousness that's larger than that. It isn't that there aren't horrible things going on in the world. The immigrants at the border who are being caged, the 50,000 people who have just been dislodged from their homes in Syria. I mean, all around the world, there are some horrible things going on. And so I'm not saying sitting here, we ought to be in denial about that. But hating those who do that, putting forth anything as if they're different or some separate species from us, is denying the truth of who we really are. You know, Al Cid said that Gandhi talked about being the change you want to see in the world. Hate won't get us there. Love, caring, making sure that you're not passing by somebody on the street who's in need, being that good Samaritan, being that open-hearted person every chance you get. The more of us who live that way, the more of us who bring forth these incredible qualities that come at, the more of us who remember that it all started a long, long time ago, where there was a light and everything came out of that light. And because of that light, we got to exist. We got to be here now. We got to allow this love, this essence to grow through us every day. I know for myself that I wake up some days and it's a real challenge. It's a real challenge to get back to that space of remembering. But it's worth it. If you're feeling challenged, I want you to know it's worth it. It's absolutely worth getting to that place that my wife talked about of an open heart, feeling that compassion for ourselves and for everybody around. It's worth it. This is the time of year we get to remember because the light is coming back, and it always does. Whatever's going on in the world, the light will come back as long as we stand for it. We and many, many others around the world stand for the light. And that is what will be brought forth. Maybe not as fast as we'd like. You know, things don't seem to happen as fast as we would like them to. But that too calls out our compassion. That too calls out that which is highest and best in all of us. That's the Christ consciousness. So you are welcome to your God consciousness of the powerful, creative, spiritual being you are. To grow to the Christ consciousness, you got to remember the teachings that were brought forth by the man we call the Christ. And then use them, practice them every day, not just Christmas, every day. And we will transform the world. This is a season of change. We absolutely can change the world if we continue to stand together for the highest and best qualities of humanity. That is our job, to stand together for that highest and best qualities of humanity. And if the person in front of you is not being the highest and best quality of humanity, remembering you still can in that moment. And the more we do that, the more we bring forth the light. And that's what we're after, right? Bring forth the light. We want to bring it forth. Have it be what we see, what we feel, what we touch, what we experience in every moment of our lives. An open heart will get you there. Compassion, joy, truth, gratitude. We are all one. And we are one together. And we are one here and now. Thank you. All right, we're now going to move to the second part of our program. I would like the practitioners to step forward with their candles. Does everybody have a candle out there? If you do not have a candle, raise your hand and we'll get you one. Up over there. And so for starters, what we're going to do is just light everybody's candle. What you're going to do, what the practitioners are going to do is light somebody's candle on the outside, and then you're going to light the next person's candle next to you, who's going to light the next person's candle next to you, so that everybody's candle gets lit. But you practitioners, you're lighting one candle, and then they're lighting the next candle. Okay? That's how that's going. I'm sure you do. All right. You light. There you go. Let's start it over here. Hold your candle and go sit down, please. Go sit down, Howard. Let him have his candle sitting down. Play. All right, start playing. We'll light you guys' candles last. Start playing. You know what? I think we'll do that differently. Just stand up here.
Tender and mild.
Do you have a candle?
Sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace.
Now I want you, for those that can, stand up and move around the room with your light, because that's what happens. And look at everybody else's light. See the light in everyone you pass. See the light. And then when you're feeling it, bring it on up here. Bring your candle, your light up here. Yeah.
holy night. All is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin, mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glory stream from heaven in us, heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin, mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace.
And so, as what happens in life, we come from the one life, the one light, we go out into the world, we mingle with other lights, and then we come home. The idea is to remember that we never really left, that one light is always within us, always with us. All we have to do is remember. And as our musicians join the one light, feel free to light that off of any candle you'd like. There you go. Already handled yours, Arrow. I love this ritual of light, the reminder for me of the compassion, love, and light that goes on. As we return to the one, we remember the one. I want to thank you all for joining us today for this special candlelighting service. This is the time when I ask you to give, to be generous, to pull out whatever it is you'd like to offer at this time, whether it be $1, $10, $100, $1,000, deeds of property, gold mines or diamonds. Pull it out and hold it in your hand. Unfold it, because whatever it is has power, has presence right here and now. And we will know together that God is the source of all supply. Money is God in action. What I give, I receive multiplied abundantly. All that God is, I am, and so it is.